Peace FM 104.3. Who to meet
Omo say omaye nhwehwemu CSOs ne other people say saa sika semi asa ye tu sika bi atwene ye de sika ekoche ake for adwuma enya nwanwa bia sa usomu say
say ne metima kan say omo nhye dade a ene na omo nim nti ese omo tie me
omo nhye da na omo nim
no chese omo nim nti ne wutia Matthew 7:7 asem wutia so obisa na ma chechiro mu ne dika no mekenka na ema ni bi obisa so omo tua $100 million for acquiring it from company back on Hess na ye 1.1 enya no krekra. Yes, omo tua $100 million ema shares Hess na AGM so na obi wo mo so omo tua be $35 million ema no so no about 135. After me so omo say acquisition cost here 200. After omo cost nya 200 and so nya no kre na metima chechiro mu me wo figures ni nyina wa ha. And with the book no lie figures no they are verifiable and that they are obi di akọ to baby for ewa ha. No mu try to acquire stakes in the two blocks no back here 100 million 0.6 and back here 35 million and no ma 135.8 about 136. So ko to asase a and now to company obe register our shares obe try stamp duty we try advisors and no almost spending 23 for the two companies 23.1 million. These are verifiable costs because you will see the payments going to maybe lands or register general or going to ABI, KPMG or whoever might have done the work. And no yeah the honor about 159 million now. Omo abaye so exploration, appraiser, drilling. One kwana ba kunye dry well. Omo spend $399 million.
Ake for
Ake AGM.
Ake AGM.
Yes. Ake 223 and AGM yeah 175.9. To Kabuma 399.2. Kwame. It is we be just say 100 million and you say at least my mouth 158, 159 and my mouth 399. What the bomber say? What did the million bomber? That 399 you can verify it because
that's about 557.
557. And no a buyer ho as partners and the union approval. We do the budget, they spend, we approve, and we build the books. Do come officer Krachibo Efeno Anthony Ampofo, manager project finance. He can give you that figure. The Atosubio on say one more company establishment. When the 399 license cost, the exploration appraiser, you need to high max drilling ship yakoye say yakoye no any 399 no na the omo toy and so no mo tua any registration any advice about 150 or they can also have 500 and something. As a company they run an office, they have a number of other costs. Our they buy we are going to verify, of course. We try interest charges because we P&L account it will be there. The BB FPSO kesiya no omo fire afs ye no contracting e na kakakra ho obetua. And never kakra ka omo aye no and also so ukeka ni nyina abomu a the omo total cost to date about $712 million. Tis obi ti ono te benim. So dini fufu we no figure no conjoy. That's why I say you should talk to me and I'll give you the figures. You haven't spoken to me and you are throwing figures out there to confuse people. The point is these figures are there. The license cost figures for development are 399 million. You can verify it. You can't perform the memo. The almost a car almost acquisition price related a car you bet me verify from them. Almost other cost also in Kano. Because interest charges say you take the bank statements, you take the agreements on it, you see the interest charge.
Now since some okay na sebe enye ampofon kwana wo. There are other places say be nipa no koya no akohu sa figures you ana.
And then one hu ni ye. Na me say koko won ani so. One hu ni ye. So hu ni ye a o mekasa. And I'm going to say, you're fair to Ghanaians. Give them the right picture so that they can argue. You see, what we are trying to say is it's not fair to say, Omo I spend only 100 and GMPC in our wildest room says, advise government go and pay 1.1 billion. We have not even advised government that way. We have said these are the valuation figures. Government will have to make a decision. And we went to government and say, help us achieve this objective. But in the process, mumwai na yenu munyina government mumwai na mun lead na transparency yadai emrem. These figures are there. Obam de mama they bit me verify. But these are all guys. Yenu na they decide the acquisition cost. Acquisition cost is based on the valuation. You see, and then people tend to forget to say, omo buy no. Omo tria it boka 399 million. Omo toy tria kabo 399 million extra, which Ambofu can give you the figures. And no more other cost. They've also made further discoveries. In the Ake block, 100 million barrels of oil have been discovered. In the AGM block, 167 million barrels. So in total, 267. Somebody says, oh, AGM is not been appraised. Historically in this country, you can check everything, go to commission everywhere. Any discovery that we've made, when we do appraisal, the figures go up.
And if you have appraisal, I back over 167.
Oh, I believe so. Anya cry 167, they're better now. I say that one I won't even. You see, sometimes I'm for a history, economic history, and they criticize it. These are historical information, and it will be able to give you a guide. And I say all appraisals done. You can quote me, unless maybe Mihumba could be. But whatever I've seen there, it ends up after appraisal giving you higher value because we tend to underestimate it based on the concept of prudence or conservatism.
Well, okay, baby, we'll say historical information, historical appraisal, economic history. Cause our historical economic history, yenim senia oils tie ewa Ghana ha. Yatiti biara GMPC adwuma. Sika oboboy enye sika wa. Yenim se mre bi opanyin bi ano dan no sa sika semia chire no efiase ba mu. Na mi bebisa sika ya obobo bodin na adwuma wo sie ba be. Bruni bebisa, what if it goes wrong? Anye ye anye ending. Because I say you know, yeah. You say. Na anye ye.
Well, in every business, we have risk, but I cannot imagine say any ye cry. And massa. We're doing it with them. Senye Adiana, if he say why would they be interested in a year? There's another partner with Tim Still, Luke Oil from Russia. And young Gumfrimo. What? Me and yet too pessimistic. We can take into account the issue of risk in making our final acquisition price, making our distance. But the person say we must make it work. I gave you the cocoa board example. Nobody gave us a dog chance to say it has worked. At the same time, my firm belief is that this thing is workable. The Indiana may cut that direction and say, when we have further discoveries, so let's assume the appraiser will not even change it. At an oil price of $60, what the additional discoveries on my at an oil price or average oil price of about $60 will be about $16 billion in gross revenue. You see, so one cannot say they haven't added anything. They have. I'm why they are prepared to say maybe a major stake, but I think it's all because of this renewables and whatever. So that maybe they want to move quickly out of that. The arrangement we'll do on the operations, we'll put what I call a call option. So at any point in time, we can decide, say, okay, we want you out. That's the kind of structure I'm suggesting.
So that structure, first or your timelines the same?
Early, maybe late 2024.
Late 2024 into your head.
3.5.
The next at least by 4 years.
3.5 years. I want to see oil quickly so that we are vindicated.
Inti, looking for vindication. CSOs ne other bodies are ekasetiano. Obetunsa from we reach out. Mobile then. Say mo pese nyina ye de boa Ghana because they be how can say about Ghana. It's not about NDC or MPP or any CSO or say now they Joe glory. Inti, how do we achieve a certain buy-in? Obia dream emra benkrum sa dia ye e dia boa ye mai.
Oh, kaka, we already have, behind the scenes, we're doing engagements. I can just say, CSOs, na call one direction, so so they have positively supported it. Bryce Simon, they will come. They will come around. I've opened the door now. I'm available. There are people who have visited me even at home to discuss this matter. The doors are open.
But you kept the doors closed for a while.
No, I never close it. I mean, my strategy is simple. Say, Obisi or no on town, talk about no can say me anyway. Maybe lawyer advice on me was saying 3 months.
Yeah, then.
In Chichimu. Assembly near Chichimu, no be acting on myself. And your man so. It do better was say, beyond so much cut through almost figures here and then buy my try, say, me boning in out of an amount for a day, a tea. Then we catch a man for and say, I dear no, a year. One reason why this acquisition will be helpful to us already, a Juma has, scar no more spending, we won't be finding cheap, no. So advantage in taxes were going to go to them. So me talk. So tax advantage, ebebamiha. Say. Now has time no more spending about $1.something billion on the block. International companies. He wants to move into some other things or cutting the losses. They want to go away. Minimum other arrangement. But if I'm looking at the figures there, when I buy, I'm going to inherit that tax advantage. Outside of the toit, says can advantage of the record. Yeah. Has I can start producer and some more waited away about 900 million. Almost to be a account, maybe over $1 billion in tax allowances. Now asako only to tax be amount for a long time. Now we are trying to make sure say when we acquire, then you have all these tax advantages coming to Ghana. The Exploco is 100% owned by GMPC and therefore owned by Ghana.
I didn't think from another company, Exploco.
Oh, you perceive using as a commercial arm. So that if you give them independence, they will really act fast. In fact, see a subsidy or Botian base in may suggest another subsidiary. So they do the on-land development different from the sea development, creating jobs. So these are the opportunities. This particular one has the potential to create about 11,000 jobs in this country. Apart from
11,000 jobs, what other benefits? From this transaction?
Foreign exchange, benefits. Operator capacity no move to other fields. Maybe join Springfield and then a develop. A new ABA ExxonMobil there now with Jai and meeting will be joining hands near develop. Foreign exchange tax advantage you believe we say a bit reduce operational cost because now we don't have control over procurement.
Foreign company in the house?
Yeah. And if they are using their transfer pricing, anybody who does multinational financial management will know one of their greatest weapons is transfer pricing. They have their related companies outside. That's the way they use to siphon money. But Esproco is Ghana. So what's siphon here? I bet Ghana here. You create jobs, and then the local content to make sure say and call for no and control Ghanaians will get a greater portion. And now yenya dia na just energy transition ya adwuma kra still yenya to be two idea. And he said total so on ma, mobile so on ma, share so on ma, BP so on ma, yen so on ma. They are building and capacity. Take for example Malaysia, Petronas, and then Brazil, Petrobras. Then Mexico is Pemex. These are supposedly developing countries. One more take hand a year or more national oil company year. No. They are driving the system, and that is the vision that I have. That is the kind of thing that me feel say the president and his team are buying into it as he pushes our agenda. No, so you need to refine it in white products. No, see, and production, government expected royalties remain on paper. Emma, expected taxes remain on paper. Emma, by a year there, Esproco can be taxed. You producer government benyane royalties. You producer until taxi look oil. At the end of the day, who you know a dorsal. It is a bonfire na your boy. Ubia dream bum na yenina. The church be a better. And I
church be a better. So we feed Peace 1043. Dr. K.K Sarpong, Kofiko dia Sapo, Penia or GNPC, and I and Atrin Komobe. A little over 1 hour near far GNPC ni ake GM nkomo near Chuana. Doc sene okeka sa asemi ni ase easy bi ase efu yebetimi ayeme mi ensuro me mi mbohu eyemresa
kwame anyade Debbie. You see, two issues: technology.
Yeni technology
and the finance.
Finance was yeni bi.
Finance person ubenya. Me you starting mentioning I can say $350 million component. I'll raise that money in this country.
$350 million?
Yes.
How?
It's going to be spent over 3.5 years. Through GMPC budget itself, I raise some. I'm able to borrow from the banks for other things. GCB, Societe Generale, Fidelity, they are there. We'll raise that money locally, that $350 million, over 3 years. Free baby, Ghana here. And then you notice that once you move towards development, the trading companies no export to oil no. As you move forward, you are nearing production. No? There's something we call securitization of the barrels. Just like the cocoa pod no know what Driano Hono. And no, any agent so the Cobobusiano. When you say you are heading towards production, they'll give you money because when you saw Benya oil, no, the other day, Aticano. And I mean, by Busa, when you say, or many say, Talo oil, or many say, Yena oil. It's on the back of that, I'm able to raise money and then we pay over time. It's not difficult at all.
We can do it.
We can do it. Once the will is there, we'll get there. And that's what I'm inviting everybody to consider and support. You see, something that both sides of the political divide find common grounds. It's quite indicative to say it's achievable.
It's quite indicative that it's achievable. CSO snin omo montia said abe no mombra yende ye trinko akokroko ye sa kan kakra bi sa obia
a free ocha ne ebe hadwen kakra me commitments ne but Monday it's like I'll travel on Tuesday outside the country, but me quite normally me took 3-4 days in Masaba.
Because what about Bright Simmons din yatiti others din.
Young man me person oba. I believe he needs a bit of education on it. And chichirimu ebe manati ase. So and now I wanted to crack a joke. When I was a lecturer, me child then I was some question officer accountants me catch say if you do it this way you are right. If you do it the other way you are wrong. Usually there's one way of doing it. It's okay yen be before fra. Let me nya outcome. I say me twem. The way they don't so me mark on script. Ain't you know as on badam chechu mu no mtiase. Then can mark on script the anka oh my yen pass da.
I'm so patch say ebia baby also fa no ebia also ntiase papa.
Oh, minimum. Anybody will tell you I have the patience, I'm very tolerant, I'll try to listen. That's what I'm saying. What is my kabila? You listen more, talk less. Today I'm talking, and I've opened the floodgate. They are all welcome for us to sit down and walk them through the numbers. They may give me ideas. Ideas they're not back for there. Me and my office no cry no. We had divergent views. But you know the boss is always the boss.
It doesn't mean he's always right.
Well, but invariably we try to lead. So we must lead you to the promised line.
Doc, my very, very final question, maybe sir, I was asking you about oil exploration and now oil ejuma from the 90s into 2000s, they didn't back one a bike a chachu chikata. Na actually in some way yes you know it had to do with oil exploration. I say yeah yenim no you say it's sunny capital intensive you say sika pudwa ye de yes adwuma no actually na your economy Ghanaian economy ne bre ye ba be take sa step ye bu nkompo ahwe ye chi e ya ade a ye nyama private sector for nye Adentina GMPC especially with the kind of history we have.
Kwame, one thing I'll say, I always acknowledge my predecessors. They have all contributed. Mr. Chikata, Emo Boatin of blessed memory, Nanasa Foje, Alex Mould. They've all played their part. And when the stories, our 40th anniversary is around the corner. We believe that we acknowledge the work they've done. That's why I say that you need a very strong, bold government to be able to support CIBB. And you know, and maybe the time we started GMPC, and fortunately for me, the GMPC law was drafted in 1983. Signing until I had a chance to work on that law in 82 as a young man, reviewing the draft law. So I tend to have an idea what the intentions were, the drafter's intention. You see, this idea of we taking hold was there from day one. So you see a giant foreigners now by private quota, we will still continue to have only a little of the action, a little of the benefit. You're talking about 15-20% maximum. But if we go the route that I'm going, which I'm asking all to support, it will bring tremendous benefit to this country. Because so a stake of about 50%, 60%. And this is kind of I don't know about Kruma. That one step I yet taken a try a month for a year. Now one taking so who person best in your car can one for a car man. So do come man no the pima. No one could see on pin bed 3 times no na wohunoka. Me papa large global or on the baby because he used to tell me that. Who person best in your car there for a while car man in your day no one can. You see, if we don't take that step as a country, be committee resources now we have a president who believes in this thing. Unless the unexpected happens, there's a match. We are marching forward with this. But the mechanic say, "No one tears him. Omrani chichinu. Say them lawyer kind. Enye manso. The church room we are, Ukrabons were 10 apostle. Then you go ye to the world and preach the gospel. Because I want to see it, And now I say, what block your mind, and you have a problem. But the same issue, we are talking about CSOs, the same issue, some of their members believe is a noble idea. They're only cautioning us how we should implement it. And I'm all yes. Leading my team, we are all yes. I mean, we're only in negotiations now.
David, yes, we see Casemir
over Chelsea.
Yes,
so we negotiations. I'll be who say we don't leave anything to chance. Of course, I want to clinch a deal, give and take. I also try and see your strength, your weakness, and then take advantage of that. But I believe that this is good for Ghana. Let us support our government to get this implemented. Whoever will be in power anytime will benefit. We all have to add on to what we are doing so that it will be beneficial to our country. If we continue to live in our ABC, I'm afraid the oil thing will not. I met a sheikh on a flight from, I think, Singapore to Ghana. I said, we're coming through Dubai. They asked me, Ghana. I said, Ghana. So, you found oil. How many barrels a day? I mentioned it. What's your population? I said, hey, and then there's some more. Now, when Dubai, they found oil, the population was about 60,000 people.
Yeah.
About 60,000 people. And I'm more 25 million, and 30 million, and I'm more oil near. The impact will be small. And I think my whole purpose and objective there is to make sure we look at the possibility of driving production to about 500, 600 million barrels a day to 1 million. Then you become a significant producer. But if you produce that and all the money is going to outsiders, you don't have achieved anything.
When you're home for Sobia,
there be kakra be a free SHS will be timaya. But near the near Macassi, ama you create tumpono. It's a struggle. Kakra be the beba. But esi nyane pudu near the ejuma. Pudu. Enti kwame the American catch a man for they say and yet a K.K Sarpong akofa and I'm better than by let's say I na me private benefit. Maybe by the time it's implemented, me kura na me fully I won't be there. But people are attacking purchase price. But I've given you cost. I've given you what has been added. Will you still draw that conclusion?
Peace FM.
And he mesre say, I'm for no asopem. Your doors are open. I'm opening a suggestions box at a place. Whoever has any input, Fabra. And this implementation of it will be bipartisan, I believe. My minister will support that so that we consult widely before we conclude these transactions.
A very rare.
Peace FM 104.3. Good to meet you.